Okay, I think we're live.
Yeah. And again, if anybody notices us live here, we're doing a test on our newfound platform of Restream for Oliver Blue.
Yeah, well, good afternoon. My name's Oliver Blue, and
And
I am your host for this test live broadcast. And I have the pleasure to have with me today not only a friend, a mentor, uh, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, Antoinette Sawyer.
oh,
And
what an intro. My goodness. What an intro.
yeah, well, look, I appreciate you agreeing to do this with me because
Oh, yeah.
as you know, we're working on a project in the background to have a weekly show where we're going to be broadcasting and
Yeah. And we're moving on up.
moving on up. Yeah,
Moving on up.
I mean, I've been resisting it for a long time,
Me
and
too. Me too. Yeah. Me
but
too.
I feel like the pandemic is causing all of us to reevaluate, whether or not we're uh, doing our being our best and actually
Yeah.
performing our purpose.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so just like it pushed me to retire last year, now it's pushing me on to go ahead and execute the things that I'm hearing.
Well,
That
I thought about all of the things you're mentioning now. I thought about it yesterday, and for years, my husband and I had considered whether or not we were to continue as pastors and having a building. And I said we didn't have to give it up; the universe gave it up for us. So,
well, I tell you what, prophetess Corona has had a huge
yes,
impact on the whole world and forced
yes,
us to change the way we live, change the way we uh, communicate, change the way we interact, change
yeah,
the way we do business,
yeah,
change the way we, I mean, just whole life has been put on display. And it's
hmm
caused all of us to have to pivot in many different areas.
yeah. And I know for myself and for my husband, it's been an emotional roller coaster as those roles are no longer viable and we're taking on new roles. It's really been a roller coaster ride to kind of let that go, to enter into what we don't even know is an unknown. And the land of the unknown, I think, is where we're all living at this point.
Oh, absolutely. And just to give a
Mhm.
little background on you, Antoinette, you are a co-pastor with your husband,
Mhm.
who's been pastoring. You guys been in pastoral ministry for, I would think, what, 30 years,
35 years, actually.
35 years, and actually been in the ministry for 50 years.
Yeah, 52 years in the ministry and 35 years pastoring. Yes.
Right. And like we said earlier, I mean, with this pandemic, or like you guys call it,
The
the damn
damn.
panic, here comes the damn panic, and we
Yeah.
all go into a damn panic.
Yeah, my husband always says, pardon my French, and he says the damn panic. And I remember there was years ago, he went to a forum and for near deathers forum, and he was speaking and he said, pardon my French, and there were two French ladies there. They were waiting for him to speak French.
Absolutely. Well, I
Yeah.
tell you, it's and by the way, we're actually broadcasting live over Facebook Live,
Yeah.
YouTube, and Twitter at the same time here. So
Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to let us know if they hear us and see us.
yeah, so if you're out there, the chat line's open. So if you're out there, just how about just send us a chat, give us your name or where you're
Yeah,
from.
yeah, we would
But
love to
thank you for
know.
joining in for, yeah, we're only going to be on here for a very short time. Actually, the
What is,
goal of this was
yeah,
to actually test the new software in actual live in a live platform. So that's what we're doing here this afternoon. We
yeah,
were scheduled for 7 to tonight, but uh, circumstances changed, and so we had to jump on here earlier. But I can still go back and broadcast it at 7 o'clock
yes, you
over
can.
those same over those same platforms.
Yeah. And it's important that you guys let us know that you do hear and see us. That will let us know that the platform is working properly.
Yes,
So please do that. Give us a shout out.
yes. But anyway, we were talking earlier, and some very interesting conversation
Mm.
uh, about all of us. None of us have been exempt from the impact of this world changing phenomenon that has
Mhm.
uh, entered in all of our lives, and not to speak of the loss of human life, on top of the impact that it has had on the way we live at home with our families, and the way we have had to be without uh, the ability to meet physically with family members and loved ones, to the way that we do business. Uh,
Mhm.
a lot of people are now working at home,
Yep.
wearing multiple hats now,
Yep.
being home builders as well as being uh, home home teachers, as
Yeah.
well as working their job all at the same time. So it's been
Yeah.
definitely a world changing event. But I think it's for the good. I don't
And
I
it
don't I
is.
don't think I don't think we're so much in trouble, as Carlton Pearson says, as we are in transition
Yeah.
as
Definitely.
a nation and all around the world.
Mhm.
So
And by there being a dual state, for those of us who have been graced to awaken, uh, we have the human side of us that is experiencing this dismantling, and yet there's this divine spiritual part of us that can see that there is a transition and not so much a catastrophe. Um, but the actual uh, diminishment of the egoic identities is what has been our primary experience at this point. Uh, Physically, monetarily, all of that is fine. We're stable. We're fine with that. But there's this dismantling of egoic identities of the roles that we've played for so many years that now are no longer viable roles. And as I said before, stepping into that place of the unknown, not knowing not only what role we're playing in the future, but how it's going to actually play out. And we know some of it is going to be the live streaming. That will be the media or the actual vehicle that we'll use. But what we will be in this newfound norm that we're entering uh, is still an uncertain thing. It's still a very uncertain thing. And most of us human beings, we little people do not like uncertainty.
no,
We don't.
because it calls us from out of our comfort zone,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and we uh, are moved to the very edge of what we have experienced before to something that is totally new. And so it's only natural that uh, our responses are all over the place.
yes,
but
yes.
having a but having a strong spiritual foundation is key
Mm-hmm,
to
yeah.
welcoming change,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because change is good. I mean, we're created to not only to be changers, but to be able to adjust to this changing world that we live in. So, having a foundation, having a strong identity of who you are,
mm-hmm,
not only as a spiritual being, but also as a human being,
mm-hmm,
having
mm-hmm.
it's being spiritual being having a human experience.
Yeah.
So, all up to me, um, it's been good for me. Um, and at the same time, it's been sad for me, to see some of the suffering that has taken
Mm-hmm.
place, continue to take place as a result, because everybody's not as prepared for
True.
change.
True, true.
And
So
so
there's a mixed bag of feelings.
there's a mixed bag of feeling.
There's excitement and there's the uncertainty, but
Right.
all of that, just a mixed bag.
Yes. So with you guys, when the damn panic hit back in March of 2020, and we had to change the way and the restrictions that came out in terms of the way you could worship and meet, and you guys had to make some decisions. And at the time, it was all about what you've been doing for 30 years. Pretty much, your ministry was inside the brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar. Mm-hmm.
But not being able to function that way anymore, you guys had to pivot and pivot fast.
Yeah, and it was easier for me than it was for my husband because he, again, is a very manual person. And he said the other day, he said, "I know that's." I was sure of that. I was sure of that role. I knew I could do that. And so this is totally new ball game for him. And I've always been a techie. I'm not as savvy as some people, but I've always been a techie. So this doesn't shake me as much. But it has been an adjustment. That the moving away from a live audience standing in front of you or sitting in front of you, not being able to touch people has been I think the part that feels less human for him, because he's a very personable person who needs to touch.
Yes.
And not being able to do that has really been an adjustment for him. So I think that a lot of us who are out here probably are having some touch deficits, pretty much, because we can't really hug family unless it's somebody that is in your house with you.
Right.
All the
Not
time.
supposedly.
So, yeah.
Supposedly we shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we know what happens, and that's part of some of the super spreaders that go on, because some of us are just chosen to, not pay attention to what the health experts are saying, and gathering in groups and doing all the different things that create, what you call super spreaders. But this thing's no joke.
No, it isn't. It really is not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we just heard of a couple of friends of ours who just got it again this week. But and then this is a test, you guys, and I'm not seeing anything on my side of people joining in. So are you seeing anything on your side?
I'm not seeing it.
Sure if they're getting it at all. So I would love to know if they are.
Well, we'll know once we finish this little session, because I'll be able to go to those sites and see if it's published there. But look, that's why I say this is only a test.
Yes, and if you want to do it again tonight, that's fine. We can keep messing with it until we get it right. And I really like talking to you anyway. Ollie, which is my term of endearment for Oliver. Ollie and I have been kind of buddy playing ping pong with our technological skills. He helps me and I help him.
Yeah. The big change forced us to have to learn some things new. And I'm sure it's that way with everyone out there. And
I'm very appreciative of Oliver, because if it had not been for him, we probably wouldn't be doing live streams.
Yeah.
If we had, it wouldn't be anywhere near what we're doing now. So.
Oh, absolutely. And you guys are doing a tremendous job. I mean,
thank you.
I mean, you guys went from just really ministering to your local family there in Guilford County to, I mean, you guys have people from all around the world now on your live broadcast. And by the way, co-pastor Antoinette and Pastor Sawyer does a live broadcast on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock on Facebook Live, and on Tuesdays at 7 on Facebook Live. And you can connect with them at Cornerstone. What is it? Cornerstone Live
Center.
Cornerstone Life Center.
.com.
Is their Facebook name, but tremendous following you got now from people from different continents and all parts of the United States. And just think
Yeah,
about it.
that just blows our minds.
Just
That
think
we,
about it. If everything would have remained the same, I mean, your reach would have been so limited.
I
But
know, I know.
as a result of having to make the change,
Mm-hmm.
because your future was calling you to something bigger, and it's calling
Yeah,
all of us to something bigger
it
and
is.
grander.
It is. It
I mean,
is.
you guys are touching lives around the world now.
Yeah. So are you. So are you. And you know, I'm looking forward to setting up some more of those impromptu
Yes,
interviews. I really enjoyed doing that with my spiritual son Norman Armstrong, and I would like to do more of that. And I plan to actually maybe schedule it so that, and I have several people that I have in mind already to interview. So I think that would be fun. I enjoy
yes,
doing that as a solo uh, thing for myself. Pastor and I, of course, do our joint live sessions, which we enjoy as a conversation between the two of us. But I have also enjoyed doing that one-on-one interview like we're doing now. I've enjoyed doing that for myself
absolutely,
personally.
absolutely. Because those really could. Well, you guys are entertaining on your regular broadcast. You're
Oh, I know.
entertaining, you're educational, you're
We've been told
informational.
for years. We've been told for years that we need our own reality show.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, you bring it forth every time you guys hit
Mm,
the go live button, because I mean, what you see on screen is what you get with you guys.
that's it. That's it. That's
And to me, you guys are two of the most effective tag team
it.
for communicating spirituality that I'm aware of in the world. I mean, because I'm very versed in the different platforms and the different methods that are used to communicate. And you guys
Mhm.
being a couple and a tag team, it doesn't get any better than what you guys put out there.
And
Uh,
and and I really appreciate that. And and I was thinking about just yeah, a couple of days ago, I was watching. I felt impressed to start watching some of the non-dual teachers as they spoke to A Course in Miracles teachers, and comparing, not so much comparing, but paralleling and expanding on what the Course in Miracles teaches based on the non-dual uh, teachings, and it was very interesting, very interesting. And then afterwards, I had the impression, I felt this impression inside of me that said to speak from the one, to
mm,
just speak from the one. And whenever I speak to anyone, when they ask a question or they bring up a particular subject, to actually not so much give them an answer, but to actually try to help them see so that they can see the answer.
right.
Because once they see the answer, it's fixed, it's locked into them. They don't need anyone else to tell them.
Absolutely. It's not so much about your awareness as it's about their awareness.
Mhm, mhm.
Because when we come to realize that it is all about our awareness,
Yes,
all
yes,
about being conscious,
yes,
you'll notice the one thing that's always present when you're having an experience is your awareness of it or your consciousness of it.
yes,
That
yes,
is
yes.
where I think this entire phenomenon of COVID-19 is directing us to,
It is
turning all of us from the outside, having us
turning
to
us
turn within ourselves, because all that we really desire is already in us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in us through our awareness and our consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And so as we refocus uh, ourselves from that which is fleeting to that which is eternal, which
Mm-hmm.
is what we are, and then live from the perspective of that foundation of awareness and consciousness and oneness, then life becomes so much more sweeter,
Yeah.
and so much more understanding,
Mm-hmm.
and we become more effective in how we show up in the world.
Yes, and then it brings forth a peace that is not dependent on whether something happens or doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, look, we're going to go ahead and I think we accomplished part of our mission today.
Sure. Yeah, we
We're gonna,
did.
we're going to go ahead and cut it short here. Thank
Okay.
you so much. If you want to jump back at 7, we'll talk about that, whether we
Yeah.
jump back on at
Yeah.
7, because I did put it out there that we're going to be live at 7. But anyway,
Okay. Okay. That sounds good.
yeah, but look, this has been great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. I love you, Ollie.
I love you too. And to all of you out there, and I hope this is broadcasting live and we're not just talking to each other. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned again. We're working on a project to go with a weekly show that we're going to be kicking off in the month of April, and want you to be a part of that because it's going to be a little entertaining, a little informational, a little spiritual based. Of course, our profession, my wife and I, Yolanda, we are certified life coaches. And so
And
we
they're
just
good
want to
at
share.
it. And they're good at it.
Yeah. So we just want to be a help and share some of our life experiences that hopefully it'd be helpful to the audience out there, those that are listening. So anyway, thank you so much. I love you.
Love
And
you
we'll be
too.
back before we know it.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.